He was untouchable, the people's champion, a walking symbol of success who could do no wrong. But in just 5 months, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson lost over 5 million Instagram followers. His movie projects got canceled. His WWE return became the most hated moment in wrestling history. The man who built an empire on charm and hard work is now Hollywood's biggest cautionary tale. What happens when the world's most beloved celebrity reveals himself to be nothing more than a carefully crafted lie? If you're ready to see how the mighty fall, hit that subscribe button because this ride's about to get bumpy. And trust me, you don't want to miss the crash landing. The story of The Rock's downfall isn't just about one man's mistakes. It's about what happens when someone becomes so obsessed with being perfect that they forget to be human. And to understand how spectacularly he fell, we need to go back to where the cracks first started to show.
Dwayne Johnson didn't stumble into stardom. He clawed his way there, reinventing himself whenever the audience demanded it. In 1996, he debuted as Rocky Maivia, WWE's golden boy with the $1 million smile. Fans hated him instantly. "Rocky sucks," chants echoed through every arena. So he did what he does best. He became what the people wanted. Enter The Rock, the arrogant, trash-talking superstar who made audiences love to hate him. That transformation saved his career and taught him a dangerous lesson. Authenticity doesn't matter as long as you give people what they want to see. When wrestling grew stale, he reinvented himself again as Hollywood's action hero. Movies like Fast 5 turned him into a global icon. He wasn't just an actor anymore, he was a brand. The problem with brands, though, is they're hollow inside. The first real crack appeared in 2016 during the filming of Fast 8. Johnson posted an Instagram rant about chicken co-stars, clearly targeting Vin Diesel. He called out unprofessionalism while simultaneously leaking his own contract demands. No losing fights, more screen time than everyone else. The man preaching about teamwork was revealed as the biggest diva on set. He quickly deleted the post and made a peace video, but the damage was done. For the first time, people saw behind the curtain. They didn't like what they found.
But that was just the beginning. What came next would show fans that The Rock wasn't just difficult to work with. He was willing to lie about the smallest, stupidest things to maintain his image. The In-N-Out Burger saga sounds ridiculous until you realize what it represents. Between 2017 and 2023, Johnson claimed it was his first time trying the burger chain, at least 3 separate times. Each post was crafted perfectly. The wide-eyed wonder, the generous tip, the humble gratitude. Pure Instagram gold. Except it was all fake. Fans did what fans do best. They receipts checked him. Old posts showed he'd been to In-N-Out multiple times before. YouTuber Penguin Zero made a video exposing the deception that got over 6 million views. The comments were brutal. First time he forgot his PR script. When caught, Johnson edited his posts with pathetic damage control. First time again. Thanks for reminding me I forgot.
Here's the thing. Nobody cared about a burger. They cared that their hero was manufacturing moments for social media clout. Every authentic experience was revealed as a photo op. Every humble moment was calculated for maximum engagement. The people's champion had become a walking advertisement, and his people felt betrayed. If lying about burgers disappointed fans, what came next absolutely destroyed their faith in him. The fitness controversy that exposed The Rock as potentially the biggest fraud in Hollywood. At 51 years old, Johnson claims his incredible physique comes from consuming 6,000 to 8,000 calories daily, combined with brutal 4 a.m. workouts and superhuman discipline. Millions of young men bought into this dream that with enough hard work, anyone could look like The Rock. They bought his supplements, followed his routines, and believed in the grind.
They were sold a lie.
Fitness expert Greg Doucette broke down the math. There's no way someone stays that lean eating 8,000 calories. If he actually ate that much, he'd be 100 pounds overweight. The publicized diet of cod, rice, and vegetables, about 3,000 calories maximum. The 8,000 figure was pure marketing mythology. Even worse were his workout videos. In clips tagged as raw and intense, Johnson appears to struggle with weights that experts say should be warm-ups for someone his size. Doucette exposed the theatrical groaning. This is 2 plates per side. For The Rock's size and strength, this would be a cakewalk. Many bikini competitors lift more. He's not exhausted, he's acting. The steroid accusations hit hardest. Johnson claims he tried steroids once at 18, but never again. Yet, at 50+, his physique is bigger and leaner than it was in his 30s. Joe Rogan was blunt. There's not a chance in hell he's natural. The Rock's been lying. Eddie Hall suggested testosterone replacement therapy, but even that couldn't explain his current size.
The evidence was overwhelming, but Johnson chose silence over honesty. He dodged questions with that familiar smile and empty platitudes about hard work. Each non-answer eroded trust further. The man selling hard work conquers all was potentially built on a foundation of pharmaceutical assistance he'd never admit to using. Young fans felt scammed. They had spent years grinding in gyms, buying his products, believing they could achieve his results naturally. The revelation that it might all be impossible without chemical help wasn't just disappointing, it was cruel. The Rock had sold them a dream he knew they couldn't achieve by following his public advice. Want to see how far someone will go to protect a lie? Just watch what happened with Black Adam. Black Adam was supposed to be Johnson's masterpiece, his entry into the superhero pantheon as both star and producer. He hyped it as a game-changer for DC, the movie that would reshape Hollywood. Instead, it became a $50 to $100 million loss, despite his desperate attempts to spin the numbers. With a $260 million production and marketing budget, Black Adam earned just $393 million worldwide. Industry insiders confirmed it needed $600 million to break even. The movie was a financial disaster. Instead of taking responsibility, Johnson leaked false information to entertainment journalists, claiming the film would profit $52 to $72 million from streaming and ancillary sales. He shared a Deadline article defending these phantom profits. Some mocked that Black Adam would lose money, but that's completely untrue. The Hollywood Reporter quickly debunked his claims as delusional. Fans mocked him online. After 25 years, we finally know what The Rock's cooking: cooked books. This wasn't just about money. Black Adam's failure proved The Rock wasn't the box office king he claimed to be. More importantly, his response showed he'd rather lie to protect his image than admit a mistake. The man who preached accountability was spinning financial disasters as victories.
The pattern was clear. When reality didn't match The Rock's brand, he simply manufactured a new reality. But authenticity can't be faked forever, and his next moves would show fans that their hero didn't just lie. He had no backbone at all. By the way, if you're enjoying watching this empire crumble in real time, smash that subscribe button. Misery loves company, and The Rock's got plenty to share. The Joe Rogan controversy revealed something worse than dishonesty. It showed The Rock had no principles worth defending. When Rogan faced backlash for using racial slurs, Johnson immediately posted support. "Great friend. Awesome job, brother. Looking forward to your show and some tequila." But as criticism mounted, he quickly backtracked with a groveling apology. "I didn't know about the slur use before commenting. This is a lesson for me." The speed of his flip-flop was embarrassing. He hadn't researched his great friend before defending him publicly, then threw him under the bus when it became inconvenient.
The Maui wildfire fundraiser exposed the same spineless pattern. After devastating fires, Johnson and Oprah launched a relief fund, each contributing $5 million while asking struggling Americans to donate more. When criticized for not giving enough despite his $800 million fortune, he posted another apology video. "I hear you completely. I could have been better, and I'll do better next time." These weren't isolated incidents. They revealed The Rock's core emptiness. He had no firm beliefs, no lines he wouldn't cross, no hills he'd die on. Everything was negotiable if it threatened his image. Fans lost respect for a man who stood for nothing except whatever was trending. His podcast appearances became painful to watch. On Joe Rogan's show, Johnson dominated the conversation, asking dozens of questions while avoiding anything controversial. Rogan later remarked that The Rock walked on eggshells, making the episode boring and shallow. Fans called him a living ChatGPT, always saying the right thing, never saying anything real.
About 75% of his Instagram posts became advertisements, from tequila to energy drinks to tour buses. The nickname Dwayne the Ad Johnson wasn't just clever, it was accurate. He'd transformed from a person into a walking billboard, and everyone could see the strings being pulled. But his biggest fall was still coming. The place where he became a star would become the scene of his most spectacular failure. January 2024 marked The Rock's triumphant return to WWE, not just as a performer, but as a board member of TKO, the company's parent corporation. He posted inspirational messages about building for the people and serving the WWE Universe. 10 days later, he proved those words were meaningless when he hijacked the biggest storyline of the year. Cody Rhodes had won the Royal Rumble and earned the right to challenge Roman Reigns for the championship at WrestleMania 40. Fans had invested 3 years in Cody's emotional journey to finish his story. Then, The Rock used his newfound corporate power to insert himself into the main event instead.
The announcement video became the most disliked in WWE history. Over 700,000 thumbs down and climbing. The hashtag Cody Deserves Better went viral. Fans weren't just disappointed, they were furious. Comments poured in. The Rock was our idol, but now he's only serving himself, using his boardroom power to hijack a storyline that isn't his. Even other wrestlers spoke out. Seth Rollins publicly criticized The Rock's actions as disrespectful to those who dedicated years to WWE. Internal sources revealed the interference disrupted creative plans and caused backstage tension. The man who built his legacy on respecting the business was actively destroying it from the inside. The backlash was so intense that WWE rewrote their entire WrestleMania storyline. Cody Rhodes was brought back to defeat Roman Reigns, while The Rock claimed it was all part of a bigger plan to create drama. Fans weren't buying it. Bigger plan? More like a plan to lose fans.
This wasn't just about wrestling storylines. It was about betraying the loyalty of people who'd supported him for decades. The Rock had returned to where his legend began and used his power to serve himself at the expense of everyone else. The people's champion had become everything he once claimed to stand against. The damage was immediate and devastating. For the first time in his career, The Rock was losing followers by the thousands every day. Projects got delayed or canceled. His name became synonymous with corporate greed and manufactured authenticity. He didn't just fall from grace, he demolished his own legacy with his bare hands. So how did it all go so wrong? How did the most beloved celebrity in the world become a cautionary tale about the dangers of fake perfection?
The answer is simple. The Rock forgot that people don't want heroes. They want humans. When you try to be everything to everyone, you become nothing to anyone. When you optimize every moment from maximum engagement, you lose the very authenticity that made people care about you in the first place. Johnson built his empire on small lies, hidden truths, and calculated moments. He presented himself as the hardest worker in the room while potentially using chemical assistance. He preached authenticity while manufacturing every experience.
He claimed to be the people's champion while serving only his own interests. Each controversy revealed another layer of deception. The in-and-out lies showed his social media was scripted. The fitness claims revealed his work ethic was potentially enhanced. Black Adam proved he'd lie about failures. The flip-flopping exposed his lack of conviction. The WWE betrayal demonstrated his willingness to destroy relationships for personal gain.
The tragic irony is that The Rock didn't need to be perfect to be loved. His early wrestling character worked because it had flaws. His best movies succeeded because they showed vulnerability. Fans connected with his struggles, not his successes. But somewhere along the way, he decided that being real wasn't enough. He had to be flawless. That decision destroyed him. In a world starving for authenticity, The Rock served up premium-grade fiction. In an era where fans can fact-check everything, he chose to lie about the stupidest details. In a time when people crave genuine connection, he became a walking advertisement. The saddest part? He could have avoided all of this by simply being himself. Admitting his physique had chemical assistance wouldn't have destroyed him, it would have made him human. Acknowledging his mistakes instead of spinning them would have earned respect. Standing for something, anything, would have been better than standing for nothing.
Instead, The Rock chose to be The Rock, an invincible character who could do no wrong. But characters aren't real, and reality always wins in the end. His fall from grace isn't just about one man's poor choices, it's a warning about what happens when authenticity becomes a casualty of ambition. Can Dwayne Johnson recover from this spectacular fall? Maybe, but only if he stops trying to be The Rock and starts being himself. Only if he admits his failures instead of spinning them. Only if he remembers that the people who loved him most weren't fans of his perfect image, they were fans of his imperfect journey. The Rock cooked up a lot of things over the years, but his latest recipe was disaster. Whether he can learn from this spectacular flame-out remains to be seen. One thing's certain, the People's Champion title is officially vacant. And this time, no amount of corporate positioning can win it back. If this epic downfall taught you anything about the price of fake perfection, hit that subscribe button one last time. Because in a world full of walking billboards, authentic content is rarer than an honest celebrity. And trust me, we're just getting started on exposing the lies behind Hollywood's perfect facades.